Why Worry by Hensler. The Adventures of Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop. Everything in moderation. A portion of the proceeds from this book are donated to Seven Gables Therapeutic Riding Stable, a NARHA-approved facility which works to benefit the handicapped through horseback riding. A percentage also goes to New Vocations Racehorse Adoption, where they work tirelessly to find homes and new vocations for off-track thoroughbreds and standardbreds. Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop is an Appaloosa colt. He lives at the Full Circle Farm. A colt is a young male horse, and an Appaloosa is a breed of horse that has spots, like polka dots. Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop lives there with his old Aunt Abigail and his friends, Sarah, Sir Cyrus Minor, and Bones. They're the only family he has ever known. Farmer Bob and his family own the Full Circle Farm. They're very nice, and they feed and care for Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop and his family. Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop loves the Full Circle Farm, and he loves his family. He has a problem, though. He worries. He worries all day. He worries all night. He worries about getting sick and about his friends getting sick. He doesn't play because he worries that he might get hurt, or worse, one of his friends might get hurt. He even worries about worrying. Finally, his family couldn't take it anymore. They all got together and told Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop to stop worrying. "We are begging you to, please stop worrying." Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop was shocked. If he didn't worry, just think of all the bad things that could happen. He walked away just shaking his head. The very next day, Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop was standing by his favorite tree, worrying that it might fall on his head, when he overheard Farmer Bob talking to himself. He heard Farmer Bob say that he was going to take down the fence. Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop was horrified. Take down the fence? What, is he crazy? He can't take down the fence. Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop shuddered. He worried out loud, "What is beyond the fence?" Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop knew that he wasn't supposed to worry, but he couldn't help it. He had to find out what was beyond the fence. He decided to ask Aunt Abigail. "Old Aunt Abigail," Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop began, "what's beyond the fence?" "I don't know, or I can't say," she snorted. "You should worry more about your manners than about what's beyond the fence. Calling me old." She took a big bite of grass. Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop apologized for being rude. He decided to ask his friend Sarah. Sarah came from far away. "I'll bet she'll know." "Sarah, do you know what's beyond the fence?" Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop asked. Sarah started to shiver. Her teeth began to chatter. It's cold, very, very cold," she said shakily. "But you don't have to worry about that. It is nice and warm here," she remembered happily. Then she trotted off after a butterfly. "What am I going to do?" worried Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop. "Maybe I should ask Sir Cyrus Minor." Sir Cyrus Minor was a retired racehorse. He had been all over the world. He should know. Sir Cyrus Minor," Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop said shyly. Sir Cyrus Minor was over 16 hands, and that is big. A hand is 4 inches. You measure a horse to their withers, which is where their neck and back meet. "What is it, young man?" Sir Cyrus Minor questioned. "Well, Sir Cyrus Minor, what's beyond the fence?" Babe-Bop-A-Loo-Bop asked. Sir Cyrus Minor cleared his throat. "Well, as I recall, well, I really don't know, but whatever it is, it was fast and scary. It was always chasing us," he said. "It was all we could do to stay in front of it. I'm not sure what it was, and I did not want to slow down and find out. Thank goodness we don't have to worry about that here. We're all safe here. Why did you bring that up? I don't like to talk about that." Now Babe-Bop was really worried. Farmer Bob was going to take down the fence. What was he going to do? He had to find out what was beyond the fence. He had one last friend to ask. He began to look around for Bones. Bones had come from the horse sale. She had been there with lots of other horses. She must know what's beyond the fence. He spotted her. She was at the hayroll. Babe-Bop went right up to her and asked worriedly, "Bones, what's beyond the fence?" Bones looked at Babe-Bop and finished chewing. "I don't know," she said, "but whatever it was, it must be really hungry. We did not have any food. We were hungry all the time." "I don't really remember much except how hungry I was. When I got here I was skin and bones. But you don't have to worry about that here. Farmer Bob and his family keep us safe and well fed. We never go hungry here. Would you please stop worrying?" Bones went back to her hay. Babe-Bop went to his stall. Farmer Bob was going to take down the fence. He was going to let in something old Abigail couldn't or wouldn't mention, something that makes it freezing cold, something scary enough to chase Sir Cyrus Minor, and something that is so hungry that it eats all the food. He began to cry. He must have cried himself to sleep. All of a sudden Babe-Bop woke up with a bang. "Oh no, it's here," he thought. He ran out of his stall. He had to warn his family. He looked around. They weren't in the barn. He ran out of the barn and stood up on his hind legs to get a better look. He spotted them. They were on the hill that looks down on the fence. He had to save them. Babe-Bop took off running up the hill. He didn't stop to worry. He didn't worry about tripping. He didn't worry about falling. He did not worry about anything. He ran as fast as he could. He made it to the top of the hill. He turned to get in between his family and the impending danger. He started to yell, "We have to—" Just then there was another bang. Babe-Bop whirled around to face the threat. He looked. What was it? He looked again. He couldn't believe his eyes. The old fence was gone, and a beautiful new wooden fence was there in its place. Farmer Bob had just driven in the last nail. Babe-Bop turned to his family in surprise. They were smiling. "We didn't want to tell you because we didn't want you to worry," they said together. Babe-Bop thought for a moment. They were right. He had worried all day. He had worried himself sick. He had worried so much that he cried himself to sleep. Babe-Bop finally realized what they had been talking about all along. Worrying is a waste of time and energy that he would rather use to enjoy his life, his friends, and his family. He jumped up in the air. "Life is good," he laughed.
Hi, this is Kay Hensler. And we're looking at Amy Hafner's picture of the Full Circle Farm. I wanted to take a minute and give credit to the people who deserve it. The illustrations were done by Montana, Amy Hafner, Janae, and Caitlin Swanner. The narration was done by Robert J. Hensler. Thanks for listening.